Is there anything that showrunners have passed on? Is there anything that this showrunner to showrunner has passed on about Doctor Who? Like, is there a letter or something that
Like
they
the
write?
nuclear codes.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Well, there's that, because we do have them. Well, there is a moment there was a moment where Russell told me what it was really like. There was all the persuasion, the flattery, the signing of the contract. Then, okay, this is what it's really like, and I didn't know. I remember him saying, "Oh, Stephen, it's a hell of a job. You live like a bear." I live like a bear in my flat. I thought, oh, thanks. Now you tell me. Then he was kind enough to print a whole book about it, which was like finding the bloodstained diary of the previous occupant of the house you just moved into. So I was slightly more upfront with Chris. I was saying, now look, here's what I haven't been telling you for the last few years about what it's actually like. And I did give that to him in installments. And I did say, which I'm not telling anyone, the several things you need to have basically in your contract before you could even contemplate this.
And I want to ask both of you too. Looking back on this from your run with Doctor Who, what's one thing that sticks out, whether it's with the cast or back behind the scenes, that still kind of makes you smile? The one, like, it doesn't have to be necessarily about the show, even just something that happened with the show, I guess.
I suppose it's hard for both of us, with two different films, to look past the 50th, when Mark did the fantastic Adventure in Space and Time with David Bradley as William Hartnell, and I did the Day of the Doctor. I mean, just the fact that we brought that off, that for all the skepticism, for all the sneering that we got from some people, when the 50th came in, it was a whole bunch of television programs, a whole bunch of stuff, massive amount of television, like a season in a week or something.
I remember saying to you, you've actually done it. You've pulled it off. You've kind of pleased everybody, which is virtually impossible to do. But that was definitely a high watermark.
Yeah. Well, we had everything there because we had the biopic. We had Paul McGann back in Night of the Doctor. We had that wonderful Peter Davison film. We had the Brian Cox. It was a storming. I wished I could have my mind wiped and go and be a Doctor Who fan for those few days, because there was a hell of a lot of great telly, and I'll say it since I'm leaving, not one bit of that telly wasn't brilliant. It was brilliant, all of it. I'm just saying it. People will hate me for saying it, but all of that telly was brilliant.
My follow-up question was, what was the hardest hurdle, I guess, of Doctor Who? Was that getting that together?
God, yes. From my personal point of view, trying to write Day of the Doctor, initially not even knowing if I had any doctors in it, and trying to ignore everyone who was yelling at me, and with the fear of failing and the realization that the budget wasn't that bigger than it normally was, and maybe we'd blown some of it and being unnecessarily 3D, and all the stress of that. There was a night I was giving up. I was going to phone Ben Stevenson, the head of drama at the time, and say, I physically can't write this. And Sue said, phone him in the morning, don't phone him tonight. And by the morning, I'd
had an idea.
Well, not so much I had an idea as I just thought, I'll give it another heave and see what I can do. The whole John Hurt character arrived late, although I think it's probably what actually makes it. But because that was obviously going to be Chris, and then Chris didn't want to do it. I mean, he was very kind and decent and gracious about it, but he didn't want to do it. So I had to invent a new Doctor, which changed the ending of the name of the Doctor. I can't. Thinking back, I don't know how I coped with that. I think it was just a nervous breakdown with interviews.
Starting to process it now.
Yeah,
it's all coming out now, finally.
Yes. Actually, I've decided not to do it retroactively.
And is it the same one for the Christmas special with David Bradley coming in as well, weaving all that together?
Oh, no, I actually rather enjoyed that. I mean, probably more tired than I've ever been in my whole life by the time I got to that one, but because it's been a tough old year. But I enjoyed writing it. I knew what I wanted to do. Mark had agreed to be in it, basically blindly. I said, I've got a character, I think, and I sort of thought, it's a strange episode. It's halfway between a coda and a drum roll, isn't it? But because it's introducing the new one, which is, after all, what we're really excited about. But hopefully finding a way to end a great Doctor in the right way.
We thank you very much.